They say Rome wasn't built in a day. I'm sure Venice wasn't either, but you can certainly photograph it in a day. Time to get creative. If you've ever bought some brightly coloured trousers in the sale and never got round to wearing them because, frankly, you don't have the fashion hairy balls to do so, well, this is the place to get your balls out. Not literally. Just look at the taxi driver. He doesn't have his balls out. Squarespace is the sponsor of this video, the place to go to for setting up your own website, domain or online store. I love this place already because you can express yourself sartorially, which is why I've come dressed in a grey t-shirt. So why Venice? Well, why not? Might as well visit it before it sinks, right? Venice is actually quite a small city. It's made up of 6 districts, 6 sestieri. Well, what's the best way to travel around the city? Well, by boat. It kind of makes sense because the city is made up of water, not roads. You can get a water taxi or gondola, but it's super expensive. Water taxis are pricey if you're not sharing the ride. Gondolas, locals have their own. The ones with the Where's Wally guy driving them are tourist novelties. They cost a bomb. Not necessary unless you want to convince someone to marry you. I mean, the gondola's nice because you can get a lovely photo of you with a guy with a hat on, just like the one you get from the Venetian Hotel in Las Vegas or Macau. But the best way, I think, to travel is on foot. So get your walking shoes on. Well, I've got my Havaianas on, which aren't exactly great walking shoes, but let's go. Go on, give yourself some blisters. That's what a holiday is all about. You could take the ferries, which are cheap but can be packed full of people. If you're going to be photographing, you might as well walk it. Easy and quick to walk everywhere in Venice, and you want to be able to photograph things, which is easily done on foot, not when you're floating about on water. Ah, they spelt Clooney wrong. Premium compact cameras with fixed focal lengths are not really a thing these days. There's few and far between, but back in the film days, there are loads to choose from. 35mm focal length, 28mm focal length. And this, in my opinion, is by far the best of them. The most iconic. It's the Ricoh GR1. Even before I've taken a single shot, everything feels good. I mean, the fantastic thing about this, to start off with, is so quick to start up. Look, on, off, on, off. It's perfect for street photography because you can just switch it on and off just like that. It's great, and it's pocketable. Alright, but what other stuff is there other than an on-off button which works exactly as it should? And it's full frame. It's full frame even before they started calling it full frame. It uses 35mm film. Can you imagine a digital camera that's full frame this size? No, don't think so. It's quite a unique camera with unique ways of operation. Now, with the film counter there, what it does actually counts backwards because it winds all of the film out when you put it in. And essentially, when you take a shot, it winds the film back into the canister. After you've finished the roll, no need to wait for it to rewind. Simply take out the film canister and replace it with a new one. Then you wait. Well, you could come during the mask festival thingamajig, or you could come another time, but you're guaranteed, most of the times, tourists. Works fine for me, seeing as I always end up taking photos of tourists. Don't like it? Well, just think of how the locals might feel about big cruise ships docking. If you don't like being in a city with lots of other tourists just like you, maybe don't come to Venice. Now this, when it was released, was considered a premium compact camera. The modern day equivalent, the GR2, from Ricoh obviously, is not really what I'd say is a premium product because it doesn't have a red dot on it. But this, even though I wouldn't say that Ricoh GR1 is a premium product, it is a fantastically designed product. It's got a built-in viewfinder, which is, it's tiny, but it works. Optical viewfinder. You don't get that on the GR1. Plus, less than 200 grams. It is so light. Perfect travel camera. It just takes one CR1 battery and it auto focuses. It's full frame. I keep saying it, it's full frame. 28mm f2.8 lens. .28mm is plenty wide, perhaps too wide for some as an only lens, but you'll have to get used to stepping a bit closer to your subject. I mean, the one consequence with the Ricoh GR1 is that it's not bullet. Maybe I shouldn't use that term. It's not solid. It's been known to break, that's what I mean. I tell you what, today, it's in June. Oh, almost got splashed there. Don't want to get splashed by the water. Probably not, because still a lot of the sewage ends up in there, which is why they say it's a little bit stinky here. To be honest, I can't really smell it, but just Hong Kong. But yes, it's probably a bit poopy in there. Nutty, sweet corn bits. Anyway, as I was saying, it is hot, and you know what? I think it's a good time to get some gelato. Everyone loves gelato, even birds love it. Do yourself a favour and grab one. Or two. I like this place, Gelatinico. Ridiculous sized portions, sit down with a sea view. Otherwise, I'd thoroughly recommend Suzo. Have this and you'll die a happy person. If you prefer something more savoury though... Well, of course, if you like looking at dead fish, this is a perfect place to come. Mercato di Rialto. Probably said it wrong. Market of Rialto. Fish market. Oh, lots of dead fish. A higher ISO film is needed here. I've got a Cine Still 800 tungsten. Okay, so for this bit I've switched to ISO 800 film because there's going to be some dark bits, and I'm just put on P mode because I can't be asked to think of the aperture. Oh, and if you're coming here, come here early. Much earlier than I did. Fish market closes at 12. There's about 5 minutes left. The viewfinder certainly isn't the biggest, but at least it's bright. Surprisingly, the GR1 works quite well in low light situations. It doesn't focus slow. That's why this is such a bloody good travel camera. Fish markets close for the day. The goods end up on the plates, and the offcuts are for the gulls taking. They're so hungry, they'll probably even eat a kid. Maybe. One thing with the GR1 is that it's incredibly easy to change the film, but now I'm stuck with ISO 800 film, and it's bright daylight. We'll just have to see how it goes, because fastest shutter speed is 2000 a second. Let's see. Let's see about changing the film. The thing is, even though the Ricoh GR1 is a bit of an iconic camera, it's almost like there's no pressure to perform when you're using one of these. Like, compared to a Leica, you feel like a bit of a dick if all your shots are shit, or if you're just taking normal touristy photos, pictures of your ice cream. But with this, it doesn't really matter if you're taking pictures of your ice cream or selfies. It's equally at home with people who love to make art, with those who love themselves. I mean, this seems like the place to take selfies if you want to take a selfie, but 28mm focal length for your Ricoh GR1, this is actually pretty good for selfies too. At 28mm, it's similar to the iPhone's selfie camera. Mind you, no selfie screen. They kind of didn't invent those back then. Yeah, he's got the selfie stick, but I think he's forgot his phone. Bridge has got some of the best views in Venice, but if you want a really great view, you need to go up there. It's the duty-free shop. Book a time slot or chance it on the quiet day. Squeeze through all the Chinese shoppers trying to bag a bag in the store to get the lift up to the roof. 28mm focal length really is a great do-it-all lens, especially for travel and you're using fixed focal length, because in tight spaces when you've got tourists everywhere, right in front of you, up your bum, side by side, this is what you need really to get the whole scenery. And this is a perfect place to come for scenery. We're coming to an end, and that's almost my time up the Ricoh GR. It's a simple camera, but that's exactly why I like it. Nothing superfluous. It's got some revolutionary features. It's got a snap focus mode, which basically means it doesn't really need to focus, so therefore it'll be really quick to take a shot. Great for street photography. And the GR2 has that. That's the digital camera. But that kind of does need it because the focus isn't that quick. But with this, the autofocus is quick. It makes it a fantastic camera for the streets. But this is the camera made famous by Dido Moriyama, of course. Now when I said Dido and you thought Dido, that one that sings the chorus in that Eminem song, no. With this, it's discreet, it's quiet, it's quick, and it's pocketable. It's a capable camera that is truly compact, and I almost forgot to mention that this lens shows stellar sharpness. Really, what's not to like about that? You know, there's plenty of film hipsters out there saying, yeah, it's not quite the same with digital. Film was much better, you've got film cameras that you can't get in the digital days. Well, this actually is a camera that you can't really get these days in the digital age. The GR2, yes, but it's not quite the same. It's not full frame, it's crop. And it doesn't have a built-in viewfinder. I like my digitalized version, the GR2. It is my current go-to camera, but it has to be said that they could have knocked it out of the park if they made it more like the original GR1. This is a camera that I really wish they made exactly as it is. Apart from, instead of film, it uses a digital sensor, full frame sensor. Oh well, keep dreaming. Still, might as well enjoy shooting with the OG GR while we still can. If you're going on the bay for one, I got mine for £118 2 years ago, boxed, with papers, with a malfunctioning top LCD and foam peeling on the inside. The price has increased a little. Buy it nows are going to be more expensive, but for a decent one at auction, with box and papers, look for anything between 150 to 200 quid, around $200. For that kind of money, it's more than worth taking on your travels. Spend a change on filling your belly, unnecessary souvenirs, and expensive boat rides. That's the best way to get to and from the airport. If you want to get a proper Venice experience, you should take the boat. Quick shout out to the sponsor of this video, Squarespace. It's a website for people who want to build beautiful websites. They've got loads of templates and they make it really easy to use with 24/7 customer service. It's brilliant. You might want to check it out. With a plethora of templates to choose from, with 60 new designer templates, award-winning 24/7 customer service, a simple way of transferring domain names over, Squarespace is ideal for those who want to create a personal website or for e-commerce. You can start a free trial today and you can get 10% off your first purchase with the code KAI.